25 of Rational Romantics, where we are going to chat all things Buccaneers Season 2. The finale just aired, and we have so many thoughts. If you haven't listened yet to our interview with the hair and makeup artist, Jenny Rhodes McLean, that's last episode, so go give that a listen, because it was amazing. We're, of course, going to throw in a couple Bridgerton updates, and then dive in with Season 2. So, let's get started.
I'm scared to dive into the Buccaneers Season 2 because I have a lot of strong thoughts. But let's start off with some Bridgerton news, as per usual, because there was a special Shondaland article that just fell into our laps recently that confirms a little bit of information about Season 4.
Yeah, so it sounds like the editing for Season 4 is done, which is massively exciting. One of the editors did an interview with Shondaland, like you were saying, and mentioned that he was done editing with it. And it's super exciting. I mean, this is about right to get that, February release. So fingers crossed, but it sounds good, and it's exciting to know that they've made this next step forward.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And I think the little bit that got my heart fluttering was when he said specifically the premiere of the season that he edited. I was like, oh, the premiere! That's such a big one. It's huge. It's the masquerade, most likely. So I'm so excited. All I can think of now is are they gonna do viewing parties for the cast now? Remember when we got that selfie from Season 3 viewing and we were like, it's starting, so it's all very exciting.
It really is. Well, and I don't even have this in our notes, but we just got this news too. It's a little sad though, because some of our updates are not going to be coming as easily because Shondaland is shutting down their podcast department. And my heart breaks, and I would like to say in this time of sadness, dear Shondaland, if you need somewhere to put all of that content, we are available. So if you would like to transfer those interviews and those people, we're here for you. So I'll just put that out there.
We're here for you in these dark times, of course. I know, I was really sad though when I saw that, because I've listened to the Bridgerton podcast specifically, religiously, to get through, all the, Bridgertons that we've gone through. It's the perfect way to relive it. They always have the cast, the crew, everybody, and it's sad to see that, go. It makes me wonder why, but, these things happen, and you gotta close some chapters sometimes, and hopefully it just makes way for other creative projects, but, yeah. We're here for you guys, though. We got the Bridgerton updates.
Exactly. We would love to pick up that slack for you. Well, and then on a different show note, we are getting Blood of My Blood. It is premiering tonight for me because I'm part of the crew that gets it at 9 in the evening because I am on the West Coast. So I get to watch it tonight before I go to bed, episodes 1 and 2, and I cannot wait.
It's so funny because, for everybody listening, just before we hit record, Cass is like, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. But I will stay up all night watching Blood by Blood. But, these are sacrifices we need to make because this is huge, and it will be all-consuming, so you might as well, lack some sleep just to dive into it.
Right, well, that's what I was like, I won't sleep. If I know it's available, I won't, when Bridgerton drops, I don't stay up until midnight because I'm that's past my bedtime. I can, if I go to sleep and it's not available yet, I'll wake up at about 5 in the morning, and then as soon as my eyes open, I'm out of bed and watching. But if I know it's available, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I saw a picture of Jamie Roy, who's playing Brian Fraser. I saw a picture of him today that's black and white, and I was like, how am I supposed to exist in a world with this man? He's so beautiful. It's kind of unfair. I literally was looking at him, I was like, it's not right that people are that pretty. So I have to consume this content. It's gonna drive me crazy otherwise.
Of course, it'll give you good dreams. Yeah, his shout out to his jawline. Oh my god, he's Yeah. So I hear you. I hear you. I'm very jealous that you will be seeing it tonight. I will be jumping on it tomorrow. But it's crazy. It's already here. And the hype that's been around it, I'm sure is going to live up to every expectation. Like, I'm so excited to future us will have watched it.
Yes, jealous of future us.
Always. Okay, with all that now taken care of, we need to dive into the Buccaneers season 2. It feels like we started it just yesterday. And honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, Cass. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I finished the season finale an hour ago.
Wow.
I was delayed, and you're gonna understand why as we talk, like why I didn't jump on the last 2 episodes the way I thought I would. But I just finished it, and I have a lot of thoughts. It's very fresh, so yeah, let's get rolling because I got thoughts I need to share.
Okay, yes, we have so many thoughts. So I felt like when I was writing up our notes for the episode today, I was like so much has happened in season 2. Trying to roll my brain back to the beginning was really difficult. I feel like it's been 47 years since, like, Theo and Nan's wedding was episode 1. Like, what is this?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that broke my brain. But I feel like let's start with that. So Theo and Nan got married. Obviously, she was with Guy, and then she sends Guy and Ginny away and marries Theo anyway. That was overwhelming. That was a lot.
But really?
But I was rooting for them at that point. I really was.
I honestly, me too. I was rooting for them big time. And I just didn't know where it was gonna go. I didn't know what to expect, but I love that what is constant, well, at least tries to be, is that the love for the girls is what like prevails. So the fact that she did what she did to save her sister, I absolutely loved, but it was heartbreaking at the same time. So for like this whole episode into episode 2, maybe even 3, I'm just like, I'm so confused with which guy I'm rooting for. Like, the love triangle was so good, and I was so confused. But not anymore. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, we will get there for sure. Yeah, well, that's such a thing too, where it was like, I felt so moved by Theo and Nan on the beach, like that beach is theirs. But then, like, as they're having their first time, she's flashing back to Guy because, like, Guy is, well, he's her guy. It's so, it's painful. It's a well-written love triangle. Like, season 1 and into the early of season 2, immaculate.
Yeah. Totally well done. Heartbreaking. And it gives you, like, conflicting emotions because you're just like, Theo's a good guy. Like, he finally found the girl that, like, made him feel like himself. But then, like, Guy, look at him, like, leaving with her sister, sacrificing everything for what Nan needs for her and her family. So, it's like, and I remember being like, Cass, like, she hooked up with this 2 different guys at the same time. What if there's, like, a problem? It was very stressful. So like episode 1 just like kicked off with a huge bang, and there's also some other love stories that were like starting, if I'm not mistaken, in episode 1. I think we met Hector for the first time.
Yeah, we met Hector, and Theo was like wingmanning Lizzie. Like he was like, hey, Hector with the jawline, speaking of good jawlines. Yeah. So that was an interesting seed to plant there. Because I loved Hector.
Me too.
I was very into him.
I was too. He was just a guy with a doll on the ground playing with some kids. Like, please. He was so perfect. And I was rooting for them big time. But alas.
We can start jumping into Theo and Lizzie maybe in a sec because that's a whole can of worms conversation to dive into. I did want to mention with Conchita, because I feel like her storyline gets started there. Her and Richard kind of, they start this in episode, what is it, episode 2? They meet Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's even episode, no, it's gotta be episode 2. Anyway, like that storyline just got abandoned somewhere in the middle of the season, where I was like, wait a second, what happened to this girl? Like, what is this? Like, and it felt so, I'm so sad. My heart breaks for Conchita and Richard, because it just felt like they didn't know what to do with them until, spoiler alert, guys, if we didn't say that, we're obviously going to talk about season 2. So, they just didn't know what to do with them until they're going to kill Richard. And so I'm like, well, okay, I guess.
But that's what I find so unfair to Richard. Because, like, they just made him dispensable with this storyline that just didn't follow through. Because you're right, what happened to Cora? What happened to her mother? I mean, the last, like, recollection I have of Cora is just being, like, super sassy at the party and, like, sabotaging their, like, Conchita and Richard's plan. So I was like, where did she go? And then they kind of were just, like, floating in, like, oblivion. And then suddenly they're like, we're going to sacrifice him. Why? Why?
So frustrating.
We can, well, I'm sure we'll dive into that more. But yeah, Conchita starting off, like, as this businesswoman with Richard. I thought it was great at first, because I was like, oh, look at her, like, flipping through the books. She can do numbers. She doesn't need, like, I thought that was, like, really cool girl power, but it kind of fizzled.
It did. It's unfortunate. And I wanted, Conchita to do more. I wanted more from a lot of the characters this season, because so much of the season then became focused on Theo and Lizzie, which the seeds of that were planted in, I would say, significantly in episode 2, because episode 1 it doesn't feel like Theo is so about Nan at his wedding, which makes sense. Correct. But episode 2, obviously he's starting to grow suspicious because Nan is so upset and is crying and all the things, whatever. And I had so much trouble from the jump. I just couldn't.
I did too. And I was just like, can't a guy and a girl be friends without everybody speculating that something's happening? Why did something have to happen? Why couldn't he have just been a cool wingman there? Why couldn't their, like, little moment at the creek during, like, the, I forget what it was, like, hide and seek or whatever, like, why couldn't that have just been friendly? Why did we need to speculate? I mean, it's not because of speculation that the rest happened, but, like, why do we need that? It was written because they know that people want that, but, like, why? They could just have been friends.
Well, and honestly, I feel like this speech, which I'm skipping ahead, but the speech that he gives Lizzie on her wedding day about, like, you deserve, like, choose yourself, all the things, whatever, I feel like that would have hit way harder if they were friends. Like, if this would have been built up, and then in season 3, if you want Theo and Lizzie to be a thing, and you've given me a whole season of them being friends and supportive and whatever, I would be so on board. Like, they are so pretty together, I want to root for this couple. But it got thrown in there so randomly when Theo is clearly still very hung up on Nan. And so, like, I just felt so jerked around. And I'm like, there's a way to make them an endgame couple, but this is not it.
Yeah. And all I kept thinking, even up till the end of the season, was, isn't this just, like, the love triangle dynamic between best friends and one other person that existed with, like, Theo, Guy, and Nan? Like, why are we doing this again? Now it's Theo, Nan, and Lizzie? Like, they're just... It's reckless. It was reckless. And, I mean, yeah, they're beautiful together, and they had, like, moments where I was just like, okay, that's actually really cute. But I feel like it was thrown at us so, like, black and white when there could have been a lot more gray area throughout the season, like you said. So
okay, so another ship that could have maybe been something, but it wasn't, and probably is for the best. But Guy and Ginny in Italy felt like such a little family to me. I couldn't help but root for that a little bit. Like, I kind of loved it. Freddie's guys. It's really precious. So I loved them.
It was cute. It was really cute. I remember you saying, because you got early access to the first couple of episodes, and you were kind of rooting for it before you could like say much, and I was like, no, that's just weird. But he was a really great protector, and she, you could tell, was grateful to him, and together they made a great team for the baby, and it was really cute. It was such a beautiful setting too. But then there was like also now this third wheel, who's like really, really cool. I think she's really cool, but like I was like weirded out from it a little bit from the beginning. I was like, Paloma, what are you doing? What are your plans?
Yeah, Paloma, and I love her. I agree. She's so cool. Actress is great. Did a fabulous job. Character that just shouldn't have been there. No. Nothing about that character should have been there. Like, no reason. None of the conversations, like, were that good to make it necessary. It was just weirdly distracting in this overall way too packed season. Shouldn't have been there. Like, there's no... Because, obviously, again, skipping ahead, but the arc of her and Guy getting married, bizarre. Why throw this obstacle? It's just another obstacle to keep Nan and Guy apart, and a really, really senseless one. So I was not a fan.
Yeah. I think we had enough obstacles, spoiler alert, with the baby at the end. Like, can we please? Can we please? But whatever. We can get to that a little bit later. But yeah, Paloma, cool chick. Unnecessary, but
yeah,
we're just going with it.
Yeah. Well, and then I feel like we have to get to probably the single most, I was going to call it the single most frustrated I was in this season. That's a lie. That's not the most frustrated I was. The most frustrated I was to that point. But like obviously when Theo finds out that Nan was with Guy, he blows up. Understandably, I do not hold that against Theo. I'm going to hold some things against him later, but not yet. But Nan chooses to protect Theo's mom because Theo's mom is blackmailing her. That's the only reality that this is, because she is saying, like, I am keeping your sister safe because you are staying compliant and you are not letting my son know that I have betrayed him. I feel like I love the Duchess. I think she's badass. I loved her romance. I think she's great. I feel like we are not holding her accountable enough as a character for what she did to Nan, because that is super wrong, and she's emotionally manipulating her in the whole like thing of like, I'm going to protect your sister from the guy who's possibly going to kill. He's beating her. Like, I don't know. I was very uncomfortable with the Duchess in this situation.
Yes, I agree. And it's so funny though, because like at the end of the season, I feel like such a soft spot for the Duchess, but like how quickly we forgot what she did, because it was straight up blackmail, and it caused so much turmoil, and it's like at the end I'm just like, oh, she's so sweet. And maybe it's also because Jenny was like, she's an amazing person in real life. And I'm like, she looks like it. I just quickly forgot that she was like evil at one point. So yeah, it was a frustrating moment. But Theo definitely makes her pay for it emotionally for the rest of the season when he does find out. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, and all of that takes place at maybe the most beautiful thing that's ever been filmed, that Midsummer Night's Dream ball, which is so gorgeous. And also, Lizzie and Hector get engaged in that time. So there's so much going on at that ball. Like, holy cow.
There's so much going on. And I'm sad in retrospect because it's so beautiful. And when they got engaged and like... there's literal fairy dust, and it's so beautiful. It's her birthday. She's got literally a happily ever after moment at her doorstep. And I just could have never foreseen it going down the toilet like that. But the Midsummer Night's Ball is absolutely idyllic, and I'm obsessed with it. We talked about it with Jenny in the last episode. what a dream it must have been to, bring that to life. And yeah, I'll remember that for a long time. It is stunning.
So beautiful. And I have to say that I feel like this is where I start holding things against Theo. Which is interesting because I love Theo. I was a Theo girl in season 1, 100%. Not necessarily for Nan. I was Nan and Guy probably, but I was Theo for me. But okay, so when he finds out that Nan was keeping this from him, he goes off the rails. Again, that I understand. But then what he does is he pushes that on Lizzie because he clearly senses something in Lizzie that needs to be liked by men who are powerful and who are like seen as desirable by her friends, by society. Because like we see that in season 1 where that's why she likes Seaton because Ginny likes him. And so I think he senses that in her and he latches onto it and he calls her special and all the things. And that's because he wants to get looked at like he hung the moon by a woman because he's feeling emasculated and whatever. He's feeling all of these things and he's mad about Nan. But then by the end of this is what is killing me because I keep seeing this discourse online that this is somehow romantic that Theo has said this to her. By the end of the episode, he takes it completely back and is like, I am sorry, I shouldn't have gotten involved, whatever, like, bye, I have to go find Nan. So, even in episode 4, he is still 100% Nan focused. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so clear that everything about his relationship with Lizzie is still connected to Nan. They have not had one single conversation. I don't know that they have one single conversation in the whole season, other than maybe 2 lines on the staircase at the funeral. I don't think they have one single conversation that's not about either Nan or Hector. And I'm like, what? I'm like, am I supposed to be sold on this romance? Sorry, I'm really on a soapbox about this, but I'm so annoyed and frustrated that this is supposed to be which, I don't know, maybe in season 3 they're going to be like, just kidding, this was clearly a rebound for Theo and Lizzie needs to go to therapy. I feel like that's not what they're going to do, but I don't know.
Well, I feel like you make such a good point because, like, so quickly when Theo feels like he's emasculated and he's lost control or, like, this feeling of, like, self-worth, which is probably problematic that he has leaned on the fact that he needed to find a woman to make him feel like himself. That's a problem. But, like, the second that he loses that, now he's going to punish other people because he just needs to feel that again. But, like, it's just, like, throughout this whole thing with Lizzie, I'm like, are you just doing this because you want attention? Like, your big, like, speeches of, like, love and, like, you're it. Like, I feel like you've said this to Nan. Like, trying to convince her to marry you. Like, he's always, these two situations, they seem pretty mirrored to me. So I think he has a problem. It's a problem.
I think you're right, though, because, and it's funny, when we did a rewatch and we talked about season 1, I didn't really pick up on this the first time I watched, but looking back at it, I'm like, man, he gets awfully vindictive and cruel when he's mad, when he feels betrayed. Like, when he makes Guy, like, recite the telegram to Nan, it's almost sadistic. Like, it's sketchier than I thought it was the first time. Yeah. And looking back at it now and knowing he's also very, very awful in the novel. He's like a bad dude. I wonder if this is an interesting thought that I just had right this second. So you know how at the end, I'm going to skip ahead, but you know how at the end when the Duchess is talking about that Kit, his half-brother, is like awful and trouble and all these things and whatever. Okay, what if he's, like, not, and Theo's actually going to be the monster? Like, what if things flip, and it turns out, like, he's actually a good guy, and this threat is the thing that makes Theo... But then Theo's not super power-hungry, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm spitballing here. But Theo, I think, has some darkness in him that hasn't been... Well, he needs therapy, too. They all need therapy.
Yeah, I think they all do. Yeah, for sure. Oh, gosh. Crazy. And this feels like it's like midway in the season. So there's like so much more that happens. Because eventually, after all of this happens with Theo finding out like the truth and everything, Nan runs away. She says, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going to Italy. And like that's relatable. So she just goes, she flees, and she likes to do that. Our girl, she likes to run away. But
Yeah.
that just opens the door for Theo and Lizzie, which again, it just, oh my gosh. I think it's when you messaged me, you're like, it is worse than what you think, because I hadn't watched the episode yet, and I
Yeah.
was like, do they sleep together? You're like, it's worse than what you think. I'm like, oh my god. Like, oh my god. I
No,
couldn't
it's
enjoy it
insane.
at all. I really couldn't, because I was just like, this feels riddled with rage.
Yeah. On every level, honestly. Well, and what frustrated me so much with that too was that this whole podcast is just going to be us being frustrated. I'm realizing that I have said like one good thing. Anyway, it's fine. Uh People will tune in. It's good. Um what is frustrates me so much is that clearly the writers had enough of a handle on what Theo was doing to write a speech where Lizzie absolutely skewers him, like completely sees through him, calls him out on his bullshit, that he has showed up to this charity event so that he could like throw his money around and be the big deal,
Yeah.
and that he clearly just needs attention and he is hurting and he's covering that with wanting to be adored and wanting to whatever. Lizzie fully ass calls him on that. And then sucks face with him and then go chases him to Tintagel to go sleep with him. I'm like, Lizzie, you had the thing. You figured him out. Like, why are you then enamored with it? Like, he's clearly just a black hole of pain right now. He's not in any place to love anybody. He's like in a downwards, he's dancing around his room like, what did they call him, like a drugged out rock star? Like, he's not doing well. Like, and yet she's gonna go chase after him very deliberately, like just to get in a carriage and ride, like, I don't know, a couple of hours. Tintagel is not close. It's where they sent Nan to go away from London. Like, I don't even know. It's so crazy to me. I just don't.
I know. It really is. Because, yeah, like, he's obviously distraught.
Yeah.
And she sees that. But, oh my god. But the thing is that she harps on is that Nan she's done with Theo. So she's just like, I'm just gonna go for it. But it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know why she can't just see that she has a good thing in front of her. Like, there's nothing wrong with Hector. I don't know when something switches for her. I don't know. Oh, gosh, I don't know.
And what I find so frustrating too in that moment, for how much I like Hector, is that at that same party, where Theo is very purposefully not taking accountability for any of his actions, Hector 100% does. Because he's mad about it, and then he's like, you know what? He's like, that's my ego, I'm being problematic, whatever, like, I'm sorry, that, you know, I need to be focused on you, whatever. Like, he fully takes accountability, apologizes, and it, like, shows a mature understanding of what a relationship looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But Lizzie clearly isn't ready for that, I guess, because she's gonna go chase the sensation. She's gonna go chase the thing that's exciting, as opposed to the thing that's stable. And I find it a little alarming at times how romantically that's portrayed, because that's not a healthy relationship dynamic. That's a sketchy one, a damaging one.
It's cheating. It's just cheating.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And yeah, yeah. I think that whole party sequence is so frustrating because I know you can kind of see it in the way Theo is talking to Lizzie too. Like, he knows that everything he's saying is going to stay with her. Like, he knows the power that he has in this situation, and there's just such vulnerability from Hector, and it breaks my heart to see it all unfold. And some people love it. Some people were fully like shipping it, and it took me a really long time to see it because it felt like everything was a red flag. And whether or not your best friend is here, whatever you, and also, sorry, now I'm like thinking back of like when Lizzie burns the letter from Guy. I'm just like, you were, you were just making a choice because you knew that Nan wanted to stay with Theo. So why then, now that you know that she's completely changed her mind, why are you now so sure that, oh, it must be over, it's over for sure, so yeah, let's go hook up? It doesn't make sense. It's irresponsible, and it frustrates me.
It is, and it's also like, which, when I first thought of this, which, well, actually, I'll say this first, just kidding. So it is very much like a breaking of girl code. Like, people break up and get back together, especially in like a love triangle, whatever. And it's like, okay, you have like one of my dear friends from high school, like 3 years later, hooked up with my ex at a college party and was like, hey, I'm so sorry, like came to me, like was like, I'm so like all these, and I was like, I left him behind years ago. This is totally fine. Like, that's good. That's what like that's an actual girl code moment where it's been literal years. That book is so closed. It wasn't even that serious of a relationship. It's not like we were married, and still like riddled her with guilt to like make sure that it was okay with me and told me immediately. And I'm like, that's what actually happens when you care about another person and you're concerned about like this relationship that they have. It's not that you're going to jump into bed with your best friend's husband the minute that she leaves. Because it's like a day.
Yeah.
It's like
Literally a day. Like, it's crazy. But then you kind of look at the flip side and you think, okay, well, Nan is gone to do essentially the same-ish kind of thing by going to hook up with Guy in Italy. Right? So you're like, there's a lot of like friendship codes that are just like, Guy, nobody is like, and nobody's following the rules. And it's like, what is happening? But yeah, Nan in Italy is like a whole other thing too. And she frustrated me. I think that is the most frustrated I was with Nan, was when she was in Italy.
so yes, 100%. But here's what's interesting. As of like starting this podcast and talking to you about it, I have since made a realization with Nan that I'm actually not even mad at her from this anymore, which is crazy because I was last, like I even thought about it, extremely mad and extremely frustrated. And I was like, I can't believe that she's cheating again. Like, this is like cheating, whatever. Theo kicked her out. That's the last conversation that she had with Theo. Theo was like, get out of my house. I can't do this. Like, no, you don't belong here. Bye. So her relationship, per Theo, like Theo broke up with her, and for valid reasons that he is mad at Nan, I'm not saying that, but he did the breaking up. So her going to Guy, I give a little bit more grace to, because it wasn't even her choice to leave. And again, she's being blackmailed and all the things. I am frustrated with her for going to Guy and then bailing again. That annoys me. But the going to Guy, I'm giving her a little more grace on.
Yeah. And I would like to clarify that what I'm talking about is her leaving.
Yeah.
It's not her going to Guy, because, like, yes, go. Where she frustrated me was that whole interaction with Guy where she was like, last night was great, but, like, I gotta go back. And Guy's like, are you for real? Like, that, I was so mad at her for that. Like, whatever. It felt like what was happening with Theo was just not going to work out for her happiness. So, yeah, go see Guy. But then, God, you guys are lying in bed, like, talking about your future and growing old together. And then, like, hours later, you're like, shit, dude, sorry. What? Oh, I was so mad.
Yeah, that was really super rough. And I liked the place that Nan ended up at, where she's like, hey, I'm the Duchess, I want to use that for good. I wish she would have done that without stomping on Guy's heart and, yeah, all of that. Because that really sucks, and Guy didn't deserve that at all.
Yeah. And then, like, they had such a beautiful, like, day, like, crashing that wedding, which I thought was, like, okay, a little corny but sweet. Um, just we keep like getting like to the top of the mountain and then we get kicked off and we're like, ugh, we were so close, but now we're at the bottom again. But and then all the while, it was a difficult like sequence because all the while Seaton is now in Italy and the stress I was feeling when he like met Freddie, met the baby, and like just was in her apartment. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then, I mean, I'm happy with how that whole situation ended. Like she snapped out of it because she was falling back into the trap. And I was so fucking stressed. But I love how Guy was like, no, this is what he does. And she's like, shit, okay. You know, I like how it ended, but like, boy, was I stressed when it first kicked off.
Oh, for sure. Well, and I was like, Ginny, we did all of these things. Like, girl, you did the thing. You did the girl power. You got out. Like, don't go back. Like, I know that that's realistic, but I was like, just don't. Yeah. So, yeah, it very much needed. Yeah, it was stressful, and thank God for Guy in that moment, and the Ginny. Yeah,
just came to her senses. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So, then though, back in England, we have the preparation for Lizzie's wedding, which included her having sex with Theo. And
it's fine.
I can't, this is what I couldn't, I was like, I literally can't watch this because I couldn't stomach, it like literally turned my stomach. I couldn't do it. To have them talk so cavalierly is the only word that comes to my head, so callously about Hector, where he's like, Theo's like, oh, you can't go to your wedding, you're wearing my pants. I'm like, isn't Hector your friend? Like, doesn't Lizzie, and like Lizzie keeps saying, which I feel like this might be one of the main problems of season 2 of the Buccaneers, where the characters keep telling us what they're feeling, but we're not actually seeing any evidence of them behaving like that's what they actually feel. And so, like, Lizzie keeps saying that she's racked with guilt, but every single thing she does is her just reveling in all of her mistakes and all of her bad behavior and all of her selfishness, which it doesn't make her particularly sympathetic. And so I think that's really hard as a watcher because I love romance. And I like a romance that's forbidden. My goodness, Kate and Anthony are my favorites. Like, a romance that is a little bit of a betrayal, I can get on board with. But you know what? And this is maybe the Christian upbringing or the Catholic college, I don't know what. But, like, if you're gonna do something wrong, you better be racked with fucking guilt over it. Like, that's what I feel. So, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. But it's true. Like, you're right. She said, I feel so awful, but like, stop doing it then. Tell the truth. You know, like, oh my gosh. Like, whatever. Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. And I think that was what was frustrating is that Theo was like saying like, don't marry him. And she's just like in the fucking wedding dress on the side of the church. And like, she's trying to move on with it. And he's just keeps taking her back. But it's like, if you really felt bad and you really knew that there was no chance of you being with Theo, just fucking go. Just let it go. And I know this is easier said than done, but like, man, she broke hearts. She broke her own heart. Like, what are you doing? And Theo, I hate that. I really hated that he just pulled her aside. There's so many other instances before that moment where you could have talked to her. But, like, also, what's the end game? You guys, you're married. You're married.
So, okay, and I'm jumping ahead again, but I feel like we have to talk about then, because it's the same energy, and it's why I'm so insanely, unbelievably mad at Theo after the finale. Because that speech that he gives is the furthest thing from romantic I have ever heard. It's manipulative, it's controlling, and it's going to ruin Lizzie's life. Like, he stands up he confirms these rumors that are just rumors. He confirms that there is someone in his wife's inner circle that he has been like having an affair with him, so she's ruined.
Yeah.
She's cheating with a married man, and then he renounces his title and is going to get divorced. That is the life he's offering her without even speaking to her. Like, that's insane. And he's trapping her in that because obviously it's not Mabel. And what, no matter what Conchita and all I can think of, Ginny, all I can think of was the actress's name. It's obviously, like, if anybody thinks about this for 3 seconds, it's Lizzie, there's no question. And then if Lizzie ends up with him, that's going to then confirm that. She has no chance of being respectable in society whatsoever, because her husband is a disgraced, divorced duke, and she is his mistress who he married. Like, that's the plan, Theo, that you did without even consulting her. The absolute entitled, unabashed selfishness of that breaks my brain. I can't. And Lizzie, oh God, sorry. Okay, and Lizzie's whole arc. Lizzie's whole arc in this season is supposed to be that she's standing up for herself and she's making her own choices, that she's reclaiming her power and her pleasure after Seaton took it from her. And yet, every single time push comes to shove, it's a man making decisions for her. So in the end, Theo takes her power directly from her, and we are supposed to see that as romantic. And I do not know what anybody was thinking on that set. That was a very weekend.
Okay, I fucking love all of that because it is so true. Every single word, your anger is exactly what I felt. I couldn't articulate until I heard you. And it's just that copy paste because yeah, I don't. My first thought, and I guess we'll keep going on this tangent at the very end of the season. My first thought was like, fucking men talking before women is always a bad idea. Nan had a plan. Nan had a fucking plan. And he just steps in, she lets him step in, and he just completely ruins Lizzie's life. Because what's so, like, mind-boggling to me is that, like, a mere, like, 5 hours before, he was thrashing across Nan's room because he was so livid that there was speculation, a rumor, that Lizzie might be, like, ruined. And he saw how distressed Lizzie was at the idea that, like, okay, Nan is out of control, she's gonna reveal me at midnight. Why is it then that your solution is to just say, yeah, actually this is all correct? What? But it doesn't make sense. And renouncing the title, it's like, if you were really able to do that, you should have done that from the fucking beginning. Because obviously it was tormenting you. So why is it now? There's just so much that is wrong with that last moment of Theo. And I'm just like, you lost me. You lost me a few times before, but there, you absolutely, like, destroyed it. Fuck.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And what I also find weird is that we are supposed to villainize Hector. It's supposed to be this thing where, because, like, he went to the papers to try and manipulate Lizzie into marrying him, which, don't get me wrong, is bad and wrong. Like, that's bad. But it so clearly was supposed to be a thing to help tarnish him in our eyes, so that we, like, would not think of him as an option for Lizzie, which, that's lazy writing anyway, but whatever, fine, whatever. But then they have Theo do the exact same thing, and worse, because he does it in front of a ballroom of people and he confirms it. He says that these things are true. So we're supposed to find one of those things abhorrent and one of those things romantic, and I don't get that cognitive disconnect there.
Yeah, because it's the same end. And even worse on the side of Theo, which we are romanticizing, because he's literally confirming versus a rumor. So it's just like, you're so right. This whole season was supposed to be about her reclaiming her power and her independence and her, like, pride in herself. And it ends with this. And she also is just there. She's just taking it. And I can't tell if that's what she wants or not. And why is
Yeah.
it that either way, the man needs to save her? Yeah. And then that whole interaction with Nan after, it's like, whatever. We can talk about that after, but it's just, the ending is so frustrating to me.
Yeah, it was a mess. Okay, so I'm looking back. I'm looking back in the notes to go back to kind of where we were at because before I took us on that tangent,
Is the wedding. It was, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so okay. So Ginny
Oh.
has to like have the fight in the press to try and get her son back. I was like triggered, but triggered in the best way around this storyline because I truly feel like this was a good storyline. Like it was well done, well acted. I honestly thought it maybe could have taken a little longer. We could have spent a little more time in the storyline, but everything this season was rushed. But the idea of like her having everything stripped away and not being believed, and that she's able to, like, the public is able to be manipulated by her husband because he's a man, very realistic.
Yeah, I thought that that whole storyline was super well done, and really playing to the emotions of like helplessness when she's like in the asylum, and you're just like, my gosh, like she is completely at a loss at this point, and just the reality that in that time, it very well could have been, the reality for a lot of women just because they're women and just because they're trying to speak up. And, that there's a lot of that similar kind of injustice when Patty is going through her trial for her divorce. Like, there's so much, like, unfairness, and unfortunately, it is very accurate to what women had to endure. So I did enjoy this whole this whole storyline with Ginny, and honestly love to hate Seaton. Love to hate Seaton because like the actor is fantastic. He is terrifying and extremely convincing, and yeah, it was a really really great sequence despite it being awful.
No, completely. That's yes. And yeah, he's gonna be missed as a villain in the next season, which fingers crossed. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Yeah, but he's very good, and that dynamic was really strong. Which, okay, so is it time to talk a little more about Richard's death?
I guess. I guess. I mean, we're talking about Seaton being an absolute maniac psychopath, so naturally we do have to talk about this whole moment where Richard and Honoria are basically going to save Ginny and Freddie from their brother. And again, what a stressful moment. My heart was racing, and very, very well portrayed, in my opinion, the way that they, it was scripted. The acting was fantastic, having to act like, hey, so happy to see you, bro. But secretly being terrified. Like, they did this so well. But could never have expected the ending.
It was devastating, and also just so, I was so mad. I'm like, I can't believe you took from me the only healthy relationship on the show. Like, and so I didn't cry when he died. I did cry when Honoria gave Conchita the letter that he wrote about her.
Yeah.
Then I did cry. Because I was just so, like, in shock and so mad that they were gonna, like, kill off Richard. But then when Conchita's grief, which Alicia did a great job portraying, that got me. So this was not a fun storyline by any means.
Not a fun storyline, but it's really weird to say, but I was like, at least I was feeling an emotion that wasn't anger or like frustration. I was feeling like sadness and like real feelings that like come with like a heartbreaking love story. You know, it hurts more just because of the love that they had, and it is a testament to like how beautifully written it was up until that moment. But damn, I did not want to see him go. I really loved him. He was so endearing, so sweet. They were just getting started, and it was, oh, I hate it. I hate that he's gone. And I thought it was beautiful, though, the way they portrayed Conchita, you know, post funeral. And, you know, she's doing her best to be a good mom. She's focusing all her energy in her baby, in Minnie, and is beautiful but heartbreaking and very, very well portrayed by Alicia Bowe. So, I mean, yeah, R.I.P. Richard, R.I.P.
Yeah. Well, and that's so true about Conchita and how much life she has, and that like that's what connected her and Richard, and that's what he loved about her. So I love that she carries that through, and like she's, you know, giggling with her daughter and dancing and moving, and I love that she doesn't wear black to the funeral, which, okay, sorry, other thing to nitpick. Why the fuck wasn't Lizzie in black at the funeral? That pissed me off so hard, because I was like, every single other person was in black, and just thematically, Conchita should be the only person in color. I'm like, Lizzie, why are you in a color? Like, it made me so mad, and like that almost made me wonder if we're supposed to like not like Lizzie, because I was like, why would you give us that visual cue of her wanting to wear color so that she's pretty for Theo? Like, that's like, why else would you wear color in that situation? Because if all the girls showed up in color, great, they're there to support Conchita. But it was just Lizzie, and I'm almost wondering if that's like a quiet signal that we're supposed to be having a problem with Lizzie and her behavior. So I don't know, but I noticed it.
I did too. And then I was like, maybe it's just because it's a coat. Maybe she didn't have a black coat. Maybe she's gonna take off the coat, and she never did. And I was like, this is weird. Yeah, it could very well be a cue. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that either. That whole scene with the memorial, I was just like, I hate this. They're forcing her to do something that she doesn't want to do. The baby's crying in the back. Oh, yeah. It was weird. It was weird. But again, a beautiful speech from Conchita at the end, you know, saying Richard would have hated this. And, yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but it was not pleasant.
So then it's the divorce case in New York, which I don't know that I have a whole lot to say about. I felt like the storyline with Nan finding out that Nell is her mom was maybe a little anticlimactic. I feel like Leighton Meester was a little underused, but I'm glad that we have that relationship to hopefully get explored more later.
Yeah. Yeah. I was happy to see Leighton Meester back. She was great. Yeah, it just felt like a story that needed to, like, unfold, but it was quick. And it was just like, okay, yeah, she's mad, but, like, there's just this moment, too, I feel like, when Nan is talking to Guy after, which we'll talk about Guy showing up, but how she's like, something like, I just had my first fight with my mom or something. Like, she just, like, talked about how, like, we just went through our first fight. Like, assuming that, like, it needed to happen, and then, like, she'll get over it. I was just like, okay, so we're not mad? Like, are we mad? Are we not mad? You're just, like, doing it because you have to? Like, it was just weird. But, whatever.
No, I think you're touching on one of the major problems of the season, which is that everything was just way too fast to let any emotional beats land. So, like, she doesn't really have time to actually be mad at her mom, because we got to get through the trial, and we got to get her back on a ship, and she's got to find out about Lizzie, and she's got to, like, you know, we've got to move. And so nothing was able to take the time. Like, I honestly feel like about half of this season should have been a whole season. Like, and then I think you would have had a lot more like, if Nan running off to Guy was the season finale, that would have been, like, you could have made a decent season out of that, I think. So, I think it's hard for there to be anything to hit as hard as it needs to when we don't give it enough time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But the trial, too, like, had some great girl power moments. And also that harsh reality of, like, how it would have been. And the lawyer, I was just like, oh my God, you're such a dick. You're such an asshole. And it was frustrating me so much. So I'm glad that eventually Nell did come in to step forward for her and all of that. But I also thought it was weird, like, why did all the other women just decide not to come? Like, okay, like, there's just, it's, I don't know. It's just an easy, like, obstacle that, like, did you have to? If it was that easy to just put it in there, like, okay, you know, a lot of just these random obstacles, and you're just like, here we go, another problem that we just need to get over to move on, you know? So.
Yeah, for sure. But I am very glad, in the end, that Patty is free and that Tracy is alone. And good. Like, it was very...
Oh my gosh, yes.
written, but...
Yeah, but when he was just, like, saying, he, like, denounced Nan as his daughter, I was like, oh, you dick. Oh, I was so mad. I was mad. But, like, also unsurprising. So, fuck. These men.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be, like, the tagline of season 2. Just be like, these men. Which is funny because I feel like a lot of the comments that I'm seeing are a lot like, ugh, these girls. And I'm like, no, not their fault. Not like, ultimately, they do bad things, but not, like, it's the power structures, which is the whole point of the Buccaneers, is that it's the power structures and the things that force their hand to do these things and whatever, but.
Yeah.
Still frustrating.
No. But, yeah. After New York, Nan comes back to England after all of this. She comes back with her mom. Because mom is now free and she wants to go see Freddie. And they're going back. Cute, whatever. They travel with Guy to come back. But then, our dude... What? He's married. And I think that what frustrates me the most with that is that he couldn't have, right out of the gate, say, we were just drunk, I'll get it annulled, don't worry. Why did Paloma just, like, why did she enter saying, like, I'm his wife? Like, bitch, you know, Nan was in Italy, you like this angle for yourself.
Clearly. Well, and she's not revealing the annulment papers later. So I don't understand. I'm like, is Paloma a villain? Like, are we supposed to... Because what is she doing? What is her hidden agenda here? Because obviously she's got one. And so I don't know. She's an agent of chaos in the middle of this, and that we just didn't need. There's enough chaos. So
I know. Her just holding those annulment papers near an open flame. I was like, watch out, please. Can we... not. And then it's just like, again, with Nan's, like, brain chemistry being altered from this, she's just like, nope, this is not gonna work, everything's changed. I'm like, is it though? I don't think it is, Nan. I find her to be a little bit, she's jumping to conclusions, but in the end, when we find out that she's pregnant, it kind of explains why she jumped. But in that moment, I was like, girl, chill. Can we chill? But now we know that she's got this whole other agenda, and her focus now is her child. So, like, I get it. But, like, also, let's breathe, please.
Well, and also, she found out in this same moment that Lizzie's cheating with Theo.
Nice.
So, which I will say, maybe my favorite moment of this whole season was when she mailed her the invitation with the fucking earring in it. I was like, that is a Godfather-ass move. Like, that was insane. That was so badass. I love that. And it was like, bitch, I know. And I'm like...
Yeah. I have chills. We're talking about I have chills. I was like, yes, queen. Yes. Oh, and Lizzie knew right away. She's like, fuck, I'm fucked. It was so good. And when she addresses the letter to like a guy and Paloma, like, I'm like, oh god, she's choosing violence. And I've been wanting to like make a reel about this. I mean, for the whole like what, like 2 hours since I've seen it. It's when she like storms into her room and she writes down. I'm like she's at her desk. I'm like, this is giving Penelope Featherington season 3, where she's just like, oh, I'm gonna write a whistle down. I'm like, the comparison here is like was giving me life, and I can't wait to like splice those together.
Like, the first reel that I made was her walking into the ball with "Look What You Made Me Do," because I'm like, come on, this is so Reputation. Like, she's all in black, and which again, I will not forgive Theo for taking away her. I wanted her to be like carrying the air of Tintagel, like, come at me, bro. I wanted that for her. So
God, I wanted that so badly, so badly. She was like, she had it all planned. It was her fucking plan. It's like if Penelope at the butterfly ball is about to go up there and like reveal her truth, and then somebody's like, actually, and like if Cressida like spoils it completely. It's like, no.
it would be like if Colin went up there and was like, just kidding, I'm fucking Prudence. That would be what it would be like. Like,
Actually, yeah, yeah. Like, bro, read the fucking room. Is it the time? That's craziness. I love I gotta say Prudence because you couldn't necessarily say her best friend Eloise. So it's like, gotta change the story here a little bit.
quick on my feet there.
Yeah, bravo. But yeah, like, it's not the time. Yeah, she was just like, oh, I'm so ready, and her mom's like, you got this, girl, let's go. Fuck. I've been dropping the F-bomb a lot this episode, but it's because, like, what the fuck? This ending, we kind of touched on it. We did touch on it, but...
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's my question for you, because I don't know what to think about it. Why does Nan tell Lizzie she's pregnant? Because I feel like if Nan wants to keep it a secret, telling Lizzie's a bad idea. It almost feels like purely vindictive, which I don't hate for Nan, but I mean, because she's like, good luck lying to Theo, and then leaves. And I was like, okay, so was the point of that just to ruin Lizzie and Theo's relationship? Which, again, I'm kind of fine with, but that feels awfully mean and kind of stupid, because if you want to keep this baby a secret, don't tell Lizzie. Like, so I don't know. What were your thoughts?
My thoughts were exactly like, oh, you're just doing this out of spite. Like, yeah. I was like, it's just the twist of the knife, you know, because she's like, okay, sure, he's not going to be the Duke anymore. Fine. You guys get to be together. Have fun. But, like, all the while, you better remember I'm pregnant with his baby. Bye. Like, what? And she knows. Or no, does she know? Oh, but you know what I wanted them to figure out? I wanted them to figure out that it was Hector who spilled the beans about that. Because I feel like if they had figured that out, they're very smart women. I feel like they could have figured that out. Then there wouldn't have been the need to still turn on each other and be like, peace out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely wish for that, which I'm sure that that'll be a thing that comes around. But Nan was right. Like, it was supposed to be about the girls, and this season was not. Like, they were not about the girls. The storyline wasn't about the girls. So I know it's been, like, a big question that lots of people have had of, like, is she sure? Is the baby actually Theo's? Could the baby be Guy's? The showrunner confirmed it's Theo's. Like, yes, we know that the baby is Theo's. So just putting that to bed, that's going to be the conflict. It's not going to be a paternity confusion, that the whole thing is going to be like the inheritance confusion. So
Thank God.
Anyway.
Thank God. We did not need that. We did not need that at all. But then again, it breaks my heart because what if, like, she does end up with Guy, Endgame, and he's still raising somebody else's baby?
Yeah.
Hopefully they have babies and all is well. But I'm not feeling hopeful for any happily ever after anytime soon because the whole thing ends with all of this uncertainty, and then even more so, it seems like another villain is afoot. And this mysterious Kit, Theo's half brother that he doesn't know about, he's coming back because now the Duchess is like no longer all like romantic. She's like back to like, you know, save the title, save the house, save the family. And like, who's this guy? Who's Kit? Who's playing Kit?
Great question.
Because
there are only two things we know about him. Mm-hmm. He's trouble, and he is, and I quote from one of the executive producers, very, very sexy.
Was there two varies or one very?
Two varies.
Whoa.
Very, very sexy.
Shit. Okay, well,
oh, yeah.
Kit! Ah! Gotta love this.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Which, okay, fan theory that I've got going on already, because of course I do, because it's been 3 hours. It was so cute. Jenny was talking about something about Kit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, I already am, like, preparing my fan casting or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, Cass already has 3 new characters and their pets named. And I was like, you get me, babe.
Oh my gosh, I saw that so quickly. Oh gosh, it's been crazy. I haven't been able to, like, read everything, but I did see that in passing. I was like, oh, that's... I'm not sure what this is about, but this is a cute little convo that I love to see. Because I was, like, in danger zone avoiding the finale because I hadn't seen it. So I was just like, cute, 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 cute. Okay, you know. But now that I know that that's that, I love that little interaction. That's cute.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, you get me, because my brain never slows down. But I'm really wondering, because if you're going to introduce a very sexy guy, he has to have a romance. Like, don't care if he's a villain or not. You got to. So I'm like, well, it would be wild to pair him up with Nan, because God, she does not need another man in her existence. It would be, I mean, unless they're going to make Lizzie just a terrible person who abandons Theo for the next guy with the title, which...
His brother.
Again, I don't hate. Like, I would maybe respect her as a full villain more, so I don't know. But that seems unlikely. You can't also put Ginny in that same relationship again, because he's the new Seaton. You can't possibly do that to her. So is he Conchita's guy? I'm like, why else do you kill off Richard if you're not planning on giving her a romance?
Oh, I would love to see her in a new romance.
Yeah.
Yes. But honestly, like, my gut is telling me that this Kid person is misunderstood.
Okay.
I feel like he's not going to be like this new Seaton awful guy. I think he's just going to be misunderstood. If he's been kept a secret, he's going to have like a grudge to that respect, but I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be like a villain that is like going to hurt and destroy people. I think he's just going to appear to be like dark and mysterious and like I don't give a fuck. But that's only because of his circumstance. That's what I think.
I like that read. I like it. Especially if he's going to be with Conchita, because...
Yes.
Yeah.
Safe
and
place.
I would like it if, yeah, she's a girl that can sort him out a little bit. It'd be great.
We love that. I feel like he could be like an Anthony. You know, like, no love for me. I need to focus on, like, you know what I mean?
I need that.
Like a Kate and Anthony.
I need a new man to love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Theo has broken my heart, so.
Man, it took us on a ride. This season took us on a ride. So, that's our episode on the Buccaneers season 2. Next week, we are going to be dropping our amazing interview with author Rachel Reed, who is the author of Heated Rivalry. We had a lovely conversation with her, fellow Canadian. It was a good time. And we're also going to be breaking down episodes 1 and 2 of blood of my blood. So, future us, we're going to know what goes down in episodes 1 and 2, and we will be breaking it all down next week.